most of you have been taught, if you've been taught anything about the law of attraction at all, that you have to be a certain vibrational frequency to attract certain things that are representative of that vibration. And that is not incorrect, but it is an incomplete definition. It is an incomplete understanding. This is how the law of attraction actually works. Okay. You understand that you have already a core natural vibration that represents the unique you that you are, yes?
Yeah.
That core frequency beams from you all the time, just like a lighthouse beacon. You can't help it. You're always radiating that core vibration that represents the true natural you. Everything that is in alignment and is reflective of that core vibration is doing its best to get to you. Everything that is not representative of that core true vibration is doing its best to get as far away from you as it possibly can. The things that are out of alignment with your true vibration that seem to still stick around is not because you're not attracting what is in alignment. It's because you're not letting go of what is out of alignment. Everything that is attempting to get to you that is in alignment, if it's not coming to you, it's not because you're not attracting it, it's because you're keeping it at bay with your beliefs. So the idea of the law of attraction is not that you have to learn how to attract. It's not that you have to necessarily be the vibration of that thing in order to attract it precisely, though there is some truth to that. But more fundamentally, the idea is just stop keeping away the things that are trying to get to you that are representative of your true vibration, and stop holding on to the things that are not representative of it. That said, the law of attraction is really all about just letting go and letting in.
If you follow the flow, your needs will always manifest if they are relevant for who you truly are. There is nothing you need to do beyond that. The current of creation, your current in creation, already knows where you need to go. Surrender is not surrendering control. Surrendering is surrendering to the control that's already built into you. That's why you go with the flow. The current already knows where you need to go. You don't need to make things happen. Making things happen, believing that you need to make things happen, is resistance to the current. Everything that's relevant for you is already contained within the current's energy. Just go with the flow. Your life will unfold naturally. You will respond to it in a positive way. Synchronicity will abound. Everything that needs to happen in your life that's relevant for you to experience will happen in perfect timing. That's all there is to it. You don't need to make it work. The machine works. Let it work. Let it work. Don't stop it by thinking you know better what should happen here. No, you don't.
If you're really passionate about something and passionate about being that passionate, you will do what it takes. You will allow yourself to be completely submerged and obsessed with the very idea of creating the state itself that is representative of the reality you prefer. Now, you don't have to do this. It's up to you. But what we are saying here now, and what we will be repeating throughout this particular transmission, is the recognition that whatever stage, whatever level of frequency, whatever level of commitment, whatever level of drive, whatever level of hunger you decide you choose to have for being passionate is completely what will determine the level of reflection you get, the level of effect you get. So if you say to yourself, I don't have to listen to that again. I already know it. Still not working for me. I'm still not happy. Still not getting the reality vibration. Still not creating the state of being I want. But I don't have to listen to that again. Then that's the state you will remain in. Remember a time when you became passionate about something, anything. You couldn't get enough of it. Every day, every waking thought, you ate it, you drank it, you breathed it in. You looked for anything that had to do with that thing, to learn more, to feel more, to absorb more, to immerse yourself, surround yourself more with that idea. The idea is that in and of itself, that activity in and of itself of immersing yourself in a passionate state is paramount, is very important to the generation of attracting all the things that are then representative of that passion. So if you're not going to be passionate about being passionate, you are going to remove for yourself a very strong stepping stone, a very strong connective link to attracting the things themselves that are representative of your passion. Now we understand, and we know you understand, that even with this knowledge, there will still be portions of your mind, portions of your physical mind going, oh no, that's just too much. So be it. That's your choice. But we are here to tell you that everything you need to know and everything you have learned from us is being restated in this work, and you have it available to you. Take advantage of it. Immerse yourself. And again, please remember how important it is for many of you to act things out. We know, it's no secret to us, that when we have often suggested to many of you that the way to allow yourself greater opportunity for manifestation, greater ability for manifestation, is to actually go and physically act out the scenario that represents your highest joy. And we know, as we said, it's no secret to us that most of you simply don't. Why not? That's the question. That's the true, honest self-assessment that really needs to be investigated. Why not? Because what that simply means is you're not really that passionate about creating that reality. It's not really that important to you. You're not really consumed by it. You're not really obsessed by it. You're not really immersed by it. Why not? That's the question. Why not? That is the most important question you can ask yourself with regard to what you say is your passion. Why am I not more passionate about my passion? Why am I not willing to do the things that everyone says will work? Why not? And that's where you need to come face to face with your own identity, your own physical mind, your own belief systems, your own definitions, your own issues about what it is that you are allowing to define you. And you do get a picture in your imagination of who you prefer to be, what you prefer to be doing, where you prefer to be doing it, how you prefer to be doing it. When you see that, all you really have to do is mimic it, mirror it, act it out as best as you can on all levels of your life. All you have to do is be like that person in your mind's eye. Do things the way he or she would do it. And then when you start doing things the way he or she would do it, you will change your vibration to the vibration that is representative of that life. And when you shift your vibration to the representation of that life, you will start to synchronistically have that life. All the things that are representative of what that you would have will come in. So that's how to use your imagination as an actual tool. Because remember, when we talk about manifesting, you're not actually talking about bringing something to you that isn't already here. Things already exist here and now. You don't have to actually reach out to some endless dimension. Somehow bring it into manifestation in physical reality. It's already in existence. It's already here because there is only here. There is only now. Look at your watches. Anytime you decide what time it is always now, isn't it? Yes, that's the only time it is. All your watches should simply say now, 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 now. That's the only time it really is ever. You never say, oh, I think it's then. No, it's now. What time is it? It's now. So there is only now, and things can manifest only in the now. What you call from your linear space-time illusionary perspective, what you call different moments are actually the same moment from a different point of view. It's the same moment. So everything is here, everything is now, and manifestation is just about allowing you to be the vibration, the proper frequency that will allow you to see that part of the now that was heretofore invisible to you. It's as simple as that.
What you put out is what you get back. Can you explain that more?
Yes. Many people misunderstand the idea that when they attract something or someone who may have certain issues, they think it's a one-to-one reflection. That's not what we're saying. Just because someone comes into your life that may have certain issues doesn't mean you have them too. But when it's what you put out is what you get back is the idea that you may be attracting people that need help from you, that you are able to help them. Therefore, you have put out something that attracts people you can be of help to. So it's not a one-to-one reflection idea. It's what you put out will bring you what it is you have agreed to serve, what it is you have agreed to be of assistance with. Although you can always, of course, examine yourself and be honest as to whether someone coming into your life who has issues does have issues that you have too, so that you can see that self-reflection where it is relevant. But if you realize it's not relevant, then you understand there may be a completely different reason why you have attracted them, but you have attracted them for some reason. So when we say what you put out is what you get back, that doesn't mean it's a one-to-one reflection of what they have, you have too.
Yes. And for instance, I'm of service for a living. I help people. I do readings and channelings and such.
Yes.
And we talked about value and worth, and I'm working through that, and I understand that to the extent that I understand that. My question is more like, if I know from the feedback that I get that what I put out is very helpful to people, then at what point does what I get back be very helpful to me, resourcefully, network-wise, opportunity-wise?
All right, well, now you're putting conditions on your passion.
Yeah. No, I mean, yes. Okay.
Yes, you are. You have to do your passion purely for its own sake. Then you will get supported by the whole because you're supporting the whole. It may support you in ways that are unusual or unexpected. That's why it's so important in the formula to have no insistence and no assumption as to what the outcome should be. And if you have those conditions and insistences and assumptions about what you think you're supposed to get back by being of service to others, then you are not precisely following the formula.
Okay. So it's not so much a supposed to thing, but it's more like, if you've taken all the avenues that you're aware of to pursue your passions and maintaining a positive state and taking it as far as you can go, regardless of how it looks, yes. And then you're not getting feedback that seems positive, or at least neutral, right? Maybe neutral, but like positive. For instance, if we talked about me publishing books, writing books, correct?
Yes.
And I have written books. At that time, I was thinking we were talking about a fiction book that I was writing, but I've written other kinds of books.
Yes.
And for instance, I'm writing a book about the history of tarot before it reached Europe.
All right. And why are you writing that? Why are you writing it?
Because it's exciting to me to put the pieces together.
All right. Stop. That's it. Nothing else. No other reason, no other connections, no other conditions. You are writing it because it's exciting to you to write it. Write it. Do your best to get it out there. Whoever needs to receive it will receive it. Who doesn't need to receive it won't. End of story. Do it because it's your passion. There is no condition that you need to attach to doing it. Just do it because it's who you are. Put it out there because it's who you are. Move on to the next thing. Whatever the responses are what the responses need to be. You have to know that someone is getting value out of it, or you wouldn't be excited to create it.
Mhm.
And that's all there is to it, period. We do these sharings, these transmissions, with absolutely no agenda that anyone has to take what we're saying into their life. We do it because it's who we are. What you do with it is none of our business. So we don't put conditions on doing what we do. We do it because it is purely representative of our passion to give, to be of service. That's it. We have no insistence, no assumption, and no expectation about what must come back in return. That's not a reason to do it. You do it because it's who you are, and you have no choice but to do it. Period.
Okay, and with humanity, do we ever have to negotiate that with like the mass consensus agreement?
If you are excited about doing it, it's already been negotiated. Because if you can do it, the fact that you are able to do it shows you that it's already within the agreement with the mass consensus. And again, it can be within the agreement of the mass consensus, even if only one person in the mass consensus responds to it. That's still within the agreement. So don't worry about who responds, how they respond, how many respond. All of those are conditions you do not need to focus on. Just purely act on your excitement, knowing someone is getting a benefit out of it, or you wouldn't be excited to do it. Because that would make no sense. It's got to be part of the mass consensus. If you can do it, it's part of the agreement. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to do it. You wouldn't be excited about it. It wouldn't fit at all.
I'll say good day to you this day of your time. How are you all?
Excellent.
All right, thank you very much. Before we begin with new information, let us continue the transmission with regard to questions on clarifications of yesterday's material. You may proceed.
Yes, good morning, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
Thank you. Yesterday you were talking about changing thoughts.
Yes, changing thoughts, changing feelings,
yeah.
changing beliefs.
Yes.
Yes.
And the foundational beliefs. I wonder if you have any suggestions as to techniques for doing that. It seems to be it's a very mental thing for me. And by the way, I love being around you because you make my brain sweat. However,
Oh, all right.
and today
Do
I
you
have...
need to call a doctor?
I'm having a lot of heart opening today, right. and my question is...
So your heart is sweating too?
I hope not.
Why not? What is wrong with heart sweat?
Heart sweat is wonderful, but I don't think I want to work so hard to make it work.
Oh, all right. You don't have to work too hard.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, so the question is,
yes.
are there any specific techniques that would connect from the mind to the heart, to the feelings, to that inner knowingness, to make the changes in those deceptive foundational beliefs that are the untruths?
Yes, well, it all hinges on the facility that all of you possess that you call imagination. This is what your imagination is really brilliant at. That is making that connection, making that bridge. When you use your imagination, when you fully use it, it's not just a mental act. It is that which gets you in touch with what is in your heart of hearts. When you envision, when you imagine in that sense fully, when you picture, when you dream, when you allow yourself to unfold the image within you that is most representative of your excitement, of your joy, of the reality that you prefer, you will allow yourself to begin, as you create and crystallize that image fully, you'll begin to feel your relationship to it. And as you feel your relationship to it, you will be blending the idea of your mind and your heart and your spirit You follow me? And your body.
Yes, yes.
Imagination is the crucible in which all these other facilities and all these other vibrations can be melted together, blended together, and reformed into a new understanding of who and what you prefer to be as a person experiencing physical reality. Does this make some sense to you,
yes,
first of all?
It does. And could that be linked also to making a declaration, declaring and decreeing that my word is so?
Yes. And again.
And using my imagination?
Yes, and again. The idea is to allow your imagination to be your guide, because your imagination is specifically keyed to coming up with methodologies and tools that are specifically, shall we say, aligned to your vibration. In other words, your imagination is designed to come up with what techniques will work best for you specifically. That's what your imagination is for. You understand?
Yes.
So, when you say, is there a specific technique? Well, yes, but there are many techniques. Each individual will have a tool or a technique that will work best for him or her. So, even though there are some fundamental principles as we have shared them with you, your own imagination is your best guide for taking those fundamental tools, those fundamental principles we've already shared, and putting them together in a kit, in an order, in a methodology that works specifically best for you. So you must rely both on the information that you discover through your own synchronicities, through us, through any other avenue, what have you, but you must then blend that, put all that information within your imagination, and allow your imagination to put them in the proper order and use them in the proper way that's best for you. In that sense, you are amplifying them in that way by using your imagination with them, by using them in your imagination. Does that make sense?
Yes, indeed.
Is that sufficient to answer your question, or is there some other specific way in which you wish to explore this concept before we go on?
No, that's fine. Thank you so much.
You are so welcome.
Good day, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
I would like a clarification on interactions that you have on a daily basis with people that, say, are negative, are depressing, are in some way not positive to be around.
Well, all right. Were you present when we delivered some of that information yesterday?
Yes, I was, and so that led to my question. What I usually do is just try to avoid these people. I don't find pleasure being around them, and so I avoid them. But yesterday I got the impression that we might actually grow faster, or
you can, yes,
if we are around them.
You can, yes, and that is a purpose that they can positively serve. The idea, of course, is in some senses twofold. Number one, as you say, not so much a matter of avoidance, but a recognition that if someone is of a vibrational frequency that simply isn't compatible with your preferential reality, then yes, you do not necessarily have to associate with those people. Then that's all well and good. And then in that context, you're also giving them, by behavioral example, an opportunity to understand a consequence of their action. In other words, if they want to interact with you, they will also have to change their frequency for you to want to interact with them. If they choose not to, then there will be no interaction, and that will be seen as a consequence of the vibration that they are choosing and the vibration that you are choosing. So in that sense, you can recognize that you may not have compatibility and you don't have to associate, but you don't have to look at it as avoidance per se, because the idea is that if you simply are of a certain frequency, it will probably be less likely that you will simply allow for an arrangement to occur where you will encounter them as often or even at all. However, on the other side of that coin, as you say in your language, if you then, with that understanding, still do encounter someone of that vibration, then yes, you have exactly and precisely understood that it can be used still, nevertheless, in a positive way to accelerate your own growth, to enhance your own growth, and also perhaps still yet as an opportunity or a possibility for them to learn something as well by seeing how you respond to them. Do you follow?
Okay, I understand that, then they would see how I would respond, but
Yes.
what benefit am I getting around being people that are depressed and negative?
Well, you could help them perhaps alleviate their depression.
Only if they're receptive to it.
Of course. But again, it doesn't matter because it still can be used by you in a positive way. Use your imagination on this. And again, remember, simply and fundamentally, there is no mystery to the idea that you might keep running into people like this just because you're on Earth, and that's the way Earth is right now.
It is, and
so it is not an issue of attempting to avoid that. In other words, ultimately, there really is, at this moment in your evolution, no way to completely avoid that. Because you have made an agreement to recognize that there are still going to be a number of people going through their own processes, probably still exhibiting a lot of negativity, and so on and so forth. And you simply have to allow yourself to recognize that's the atmosphere in which you exist right now. And it will eventually change. But not right now. Right now, you are still capable of running into many different kinds of people with many different kinds of beliefs, many different kinds of attitudes, some of which are going to be highly incompatible with yours. But you have to trust the synchronicity of your life in that if they are there in your life, if they do come in to your life, then there is something there that will help either you, them, or both of you, if you are willing to look at it from that perspective. Because again, you see, if you really are of a vibration that you say is the vibration of your preferred reality, then it won't matter to you who it is that comes into your life or who it is you interact with, because the interaction for you will always be positive, beneficial, and constructive, and allow you perhaps to exercise more compassion. You follow?
yes, it seems like as I think that I'm getting to be more positive,
Yes.
I'm actually running into more negative people.
But you see, then that's a good sign. It means
But,
you can handle it. Don't you get it? Remember when we said the idea is that growth on your planet at this time is not an exclusion principle, it's an inclusion principle. And the more light you create in your life, the more you will become aware of the dark that also exists in your reality. Becoming aware, more aware of more of the dark, means you are containing and radiating more of the light. So it's a good sign.
Except there's more and more people I don't want to be around.
But you see, you're judging it. And in
Yes.
judging it, you are matching their frequency, and that's why it's uncomfortable for you.
Okay.
It's uncomfortable not because you are actually staying in your frequency, it's uncomfortable because you're not staying in your frequency of preference.
Okay.
That's then, for you, obviously, one of the main reasons why you're attracting them, to show yourself that it is actually very easy for you to succumb to their vibration instead of staying in the one you prefer. And therefore, this is actually a constructive lesson for you, that it's easy for you to give up the reality of your preference in light of what they are offering you instead. And you
So-
don't have to.
So I would know that I have made a change when I'm around these people and I recognize that they're being negative or they're depressing, and I
Yes.
just don't respond to it in any way.
You respond to it in a positive way, but it
But I
doesn't
mean-
affect you in that sense.
Correct, that it doesn't
In a
affect me in
negative
any
way.
way. That's what I meant.
Negatively,
That it
yes.
doesn't affect
You
me.
can remain neutral with it if it does occur. I mean, you can also make your own statements in a loving way. You can make a statement to a person to say, your energy in that sense is not really compatible with the preference of how I wish to experience my reality. Now, I'm willing to assist you as far as it goes. But you also have to recognize that you have the opportunity to change your energy. And if you choose not to, I will love you nonetheless, because I allow you to choose whatever it is you believe is best for your reality. But I will have to simply let you know that a consequence of your choice might be that we may not interact any longer, because I prefer not to have that energy in my reality. So you give them a choice. And in that sense, you put it on equal footing. At the same time, again, if they do keep coming into your life, it's still your opportunity to recognize that you don't have to give up the vibration of your preference just because they happen to be there. Otherwise, they are still simply giving you a chance to recognize that it's easy for you to give up your preference.
Okay,
Does that help you?
yes. I also had a question about that you said that we're on the threshold of change, and
Well, of course, you're going through it rapidly.
but it seems like there's still a lot of violence and
Yes.
and
Yes.
you read the paper and it doesn't
Yes.
seem like there's a big change. And
All right,
in general,
once again, please pay attention.
Okay.
The closer you get to the light, the more darkness will appear.
Okay.
Did I not just say that a moment ago?
Yes.
Well, then why would it be surprising to you that you will see more violence coming out? The idea, once again, is that as you close in on the threshold, you are giving yourself an opportunity to get all of the old stuff out of your system. But in order to get it out of your system, you have to get it out on the table in front of your face first. You have to see what's going on so that you can see that you can make a difference and make a change. But in order to make that change, you have to know what it is you are changing. And to know what it is you are changing, you have to see more of what it is you've been hiding under the table. So the closer you get to the light, the more capable you are of allowing the darkness that has been suppressed to come to the surface. So of course, there will appear to be at first more negativity, more violence. You're getting it all out in the open so that you can really finally see what the choices are, dark and light, and allow yourself to choose the reality you really prefer. But that's a symptom of growth. It's a symptom of change, that everything will be there, not just one side. Everything has to be there before the change can really sink in.
It seems
Does
like
that make sense to you?
Yes.
All right.
It seems
You
like
say that with some resignation.
it's okay. Here's a resignation.
Why isn't that exciting to you? Why are you not defining that as exciting, knowing that that's a symptom that you're getting closer to crossing that threshold, instead of looking at it as if somehow there's something wrong?
Because I hear what you're saying, and I believe it on a global basis, but on an everyday basis, when you talk to people you work with or people that you meet,
Yes.
and they're just struggling to get by, they're not
Yes.
even asking questions, much less looking for answers. So there's I don't see a lot of growth. Outside
not everyone on your planet will change.
But the majority are not.
Not everyone on your planet will change, and it may not even be the majority that will. That is not going to stop the idea of a transition. If in your mind you require a majority to go into the light in order for the entire world to change, perhaps you just don't understand the physics.
Perhaps.
The idea is this. Positive energy is integrative and geometrically powerful in that direction. Negative energy is segregative. And in that sense, it requires fewer people going in the positive to outweigh the amount of people staying in the negative.
Okay.
This is the idea behind the phrase that exists in your society of the 144,000. It means many other things as well. But the point is that if you actually have only 144,000 individuals vibrating above a certain frequency level on your planet in a positive energy format, those 144,000 will actually energetically outweigh the other several billion who may be still in negativity, because the several billion in negativity are not functioning cohesively.
Okay.
Whereas the 144,000 are functioning geometrically cohesively. So in that sense, their energy completely outweighs the other billion individuals who are not functioning cohesively.
I see that.
Does that help you understand the process?
Yes.
Then take heart. All right?
Okay.
Remember that as you shift and as you change, bit by bit, day by day, literally into new realities every moment, ultimately, yes, you will only ultimately, not right now, ultimately see only those operating on the same level with you. But the population of the world may not be the same in that new reality.
Okay.
Do you understand? Does that help you?
Yes.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Bashar.
Anna, you good day.
Two questions. We talk about the ego as if it is a being with consciousness.
Well, in a sense it is. Because your personality construct, to some degree, functions somewhat autonomously once it is created. That's why you can actually negotiate with it in some ways as if it were separate, even though it's not. Did that make sense?
Well, I just wonder, how does something go from... I guess the even bigger question is the difference between energy and consciousness is as sort of maybe paradoxical to me as the wave and the particle.
Yes.
So how does something go from not being to being a being with consciousness? You see
All
what
right,
I mean?
let's use an analogy that we often use, and that is the film or movie analogy that exists on your planet. When you are watching a movie, you believe that the characters on the screen, in a sense, have consciousness, because in a sense, an actor has given them a voice. But if you actually stop a moment and think about it, you're relating to nothing but a bunch of light. You're relating to an illusion. It's causing you to allow yourself to feel emotions, to think new thoughts, to respond in many ways to what you're seeing on the screen. But what you're seeing is actually not the living actor, nor even a real character. So the idea is similar. You have created a context, a character in context in the ego. You have used consciousness and energy and molded it into a certain pattern in such a way as it actually can be dealt with in an illusionary manner as if it had its own autonomous reality. Make sense? This is for the purpose of creating reflectivity. Make sense? Yes, no, maybe?
Well, it does, except, when it turns into a monster.
Yes. Well, some of you like going to horror movies.
Well, that is a continued part of this question is sometimes I feel extremely angry that
Yes.
somewhere, someplace, some part of me decided it was acceptable to put me in an experience of distress.
Yes.
From the higher perspective, it expands consciousness in limitation and teaches
Yes.
other beings, and it's
Yes.
oh so good for the rest of the universe. But my moment is misery,
Yes.
horror, fear,
Yes.
anger.
Yes. And
And
so...
I get angry that I've been put in
Yes.
that position, and I
Well,
want to know who put me there.
Anger, in that sense, is actually the recognition that you put yourself in that position. The anger is from the fact that you're not taking yourself out of it. Because you were not put in the position, you chose it. The anger comes from not being willing to choose something else. So you can use the anger to find out what the belief is that you have bought into that makes you feel like you should not choose something other than those negative experiences. That's what the anger comes from. You're angry at yourself for not choosing something different, and you can't figure out why you're not choosing something different because you're not in touch with the belief system that makes it seem all right to continue in the way that you have chosen in the first place. Make sense?
Well, if myself knew that I could get lost
Yes.
and knew that I might have these terrible experiences and decided to do it anyway,
Yes.
that,
But you see,
that
from
seems
that
to me like a lack of love.
perspective, but from that perspective, it's not terrible. The idea is it understood that you were going to explore certain themes. It didn't in any way, shape, or form insist that you had to experience them in a negative way. That just recognized that that might happen, because anytime you walk into a haunted house, things might jump out at you and you might get momentarily scared. At the same time, if you look behind the illusion and understand that they're just special effects, you don't have to be scared. So the higher self knows that you have the capacity to treat these things as illusions and special effects and not have to choose to be scared, even though it knows originally that you could choose to be scared because you walked into a place that has things that can scare you. But the choice is yours as to how you experience the theme. It's not like any part of yourself forced yourself to have to experience negative or scary things. It's showing you that you have the power to transform these things, to see through the illusion. And you're only angry because you haven't done it yet. Does that make sense?
Well, yeah, I guess it's sometimes hard to understand the layers of the self. And
Yes, but that's all right. The point is to not be angry at yourself for not understanding. That's the first step. And then you give yourself a break and say, it's all right that I don't understand. The paradox is it has to be all right for you to be angry. It has to be all right for you to not understand in order to actually let go of the anger and to understand. But you're not all right with that. And so what you're doing is you're devaluing an experience. You're devaluing the idea of dark side as a valid experience. And by devaluing it, you're attempting to push it away, and by attempting to push it away, you recognize it becomes a spring that has nowhere to go except to bounce back, stronger and stronger and stronger. So the idea is you have to accept that negative experiences are part and parcel of at least what's possible, and that they are valid as choices. When you validate that the dark side is a valid choice, then you don't have to choose it. The only reason you're having a tough time getting away from it is because you will not accept that polarity is part of existence. Make sense?
How do I get to the point where I do accept it?
The idea, again, is to recognize that without the dark side, you wouldn't know the light. So the darkness gives you the opportunity to actually see what you prefer.
Okay.
So you have to validate it as having a reason for existing and not judge it to have no place in reality. You contain dark and light. You contain positive and negative. You contain polarity. You always will. Therefore, you have to accept that part of you is dark and will always be. But you don't have to choose an experience from that side. But the only way to choose an experience only from the positive side is to validate that it's all right if you decide to choose one from the negative side. Once it becomes all right, once the negative side becomes an equally valid choice, then you don't have to choose it. There's no charge on it. There's no onus on it. You're not running away from it. You're letting it live there, but you're not experiencing the effect because you let it be a valid choice. And thus you remove all power from it. You just turn it into a neutral choice. That's all.
That's great. Thank you.
Thank you.